Hello, everyone. I'm Keeper Calvin, and we would officially welcome everyone to the Keepers Club podcast. So, this virtual gathering that you see before you is hosted by Keepers Club, a club that aims to keep young people like us away from negative activities such as smoking, drinking, doing drugs, and eventually suicidal thoughts. And we have the privilege as well to have keepers that are willing to join this week's episode on how to stay healthy, happy, and motivated. Because at the end of the day, that's really the goal of the Keepers Club. For us keepers to share with one another as one were to do with our own brother or sister. And just like the club slogan, I am my brother's keeper, we will do whatever it takes to share the love that we experienced individually and as a group. And we love to also thank the founding president of Keepers Club International, who is none other than Apollo Kibuloy, for this opportunity to be a part of the Keepers Club International here in the United States of America, as well as this great privilege and entrustment to have a Keepers Club inspired podcast. So without further ado, let us all greet all the keepers that have joined us today, and may we all see your beautiful faces and greet your fellow keepers and say, I am my brother's keeper. So, how is everyone today? So hello there, yeah, Sherlyn, doing good. Josh, Simon, Anthony, Kate, and Kate, and Vince. So, go Vince. Woo. Happy early Thanksgiving, everyone, and hope everyone's week is going well, by the way. So, let's get started. Alrighty. Oh, but how's your day, by the way, Gab? Since your camera's on, go Gab.
Mine's doing good, Gira. How about you?
It's good, Kuya. Thank you, Kuya. Couldn't have been better, so can't complain, right? Alrighty. And let's get started. So, as always, let us, welcome our disclaimer, of course. Keep in mind that this is a rated everyone podcast, so kindly avoid cursing, share anything traumatic. Please prevent from saying anything that goes against our keeper slogan, I am my brother's keeper. And with that being said, can we get a thumbs up? Went all good? Thumbs up, everyone's good? Alrighty, so let us do this. Alrighty, so this will be the Keepers Club podcast episode 22. Wow, 22 episodes, right? So, Keepers Club 22. And I'm going to start off with some Keepers Club history first. So for those who do not know or have not heard about the Keepers Club International, it was first founded by Pastor Apollo Kibuloy and was first established in June 1986 in Davao City, Philippines. And since then, Keepers Club International has spread all over the globe, gaining thousands of keepers worldwide. And we would have jam sessions, outings, and constructive small group sharings and discussions. And Keepers Club International is not only in the Philippines, but in other countries like the United States of America, Canada, United Kingdom, Italy, Belgium, Spain, Ukraine, United Arab Emirates, Singapore, Malaysia, Japan, and many more. So, as an introduction, we are the Keepers Club podcast, and we are once again a podcast to help guide, encourage, and uplift the youth. We do this through Zoom, as you can see. Also, we post our full episodes on YouTube and on Facebook. That is where we post all of our group photos of everyone's beautiful faces to really remember all the episodes and to really look back as well on great memory and things that we can always strive to improve every single week. We do this through we host these every Tuesday at 6 p.m. on CST, and the reason we do so is because truly I am my brother's keeper. We gather, bond, and share with keepers all over the U.S. So, for experience, all of our topics relate to the struggles of being a youth, and we have this privilege to meet and talk to keepers all over the U.S. And truly, it is a very humbling experience because I am my brother's keeper. Right, so we are really sharing the love that we felt through Keepers Cup International, and this is an opportunity, to really to just give back, to share the things that we've learned through Keepers Club, that we've learned from our founding president, and especially for those who have not heard of the Keepers Club. So, for our icebreakers, let us get started. So to get an atmosphere of those who have joined this episode, right? Let us start off with an icebreaker called "Show Us Your Stuff." So, this would really work too if everyone's able to show their videos. But if you're busy, it's all good. If not, but this opportunity, go Gab, right? And show us your stuff. So, feel free to show us your charger. Go Gab, charger. All right, nice chargers, everyone. How about show us your background? Go Gab. Oh, you're the Kingdom Gab. Woo! All right, let me show you mine. Hold up, I gotta double check. All right, I'm not at the nice Kingdom, but this is my background. So go also Simon from the mansion there in your Keepers Club. So go Simon. Woo! Alrighty. And Josh, you too, Josh. Nice chairs. Alrighty, and I think last one as well. Show us your Keepers Club podcast attire. Nice jackets, everyone. All right, so hope you enjoyed that. How about this? Let's do finish the sentence. So especially if you don't have your video on, feel free to utilize our chat box in Zoom. So as simple as this. I'll type this. A keeper in this podcast that I want to compliment is because. All right, so hope you enjoyed some so hope everyone's day is going well. And how about this? Go Gab, by the way, and truly, if I have the permission to read this, but a keeper in this podcast that I want to compliment is Keeper Josh because of their guitar. So I didn't even see that. Go Keeper Josh and guitar. Ready? Anyone else? Okay. How about this? Something I hope that keepers around the world get to do this week is orange long sleeve. Thank you, by the way, Josh. That's actually it's a short one, but all right. So, something that we hope keepers around the world get to do this week is and go Gab too. So truly go Gab that, you hope the keepers around the world get to celebrate this week, to celebrate Thanksgiving this week. And also, Kuya Simon, that you hope keepers around the world get to eat turkey, right? So, Love from the Keepers Club podcast. Always hope everyone is safe. Hope everyone is strong physically, mentally, spiritually, and hope everyone there in your Keepers Club International is doing well as well. So love from the podcast, and hope to see you soon as well. So also go quick assignment listening to the podcast. Wow, good looking. Alrighty. And how about this one? This last one, my favorite part about the KCP is alrighty, and go also keepers positivity, and likewise the talent showcase tone and the lessons learned. Wow, good look. All right, so but did someone say talent show? So good take, tone. And with that being said, I think our last icebreaker is our mini talent show. So with that being said, is there any keeper that would be willing to perform, especially if you have a performance coming up, you've been practicing something, you like to show off your God-given gifts that truly God has really blessed you with and has really brightened your life with. It's giving you a passion, a gift, something to look forward to, something to use and to really utilize, for whatever you want, right? So with that being said, anyone, any takers? Am I able to perform, or do we just save it again? Or does anyone want to play flute, or want to sing some karaoke, or have an instrumental? Maybe they're acoustic guitars or electric guitars. Should I perform now? Nah.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe we should have the talent show when you have more talent participants or something.
Yeah. Okay. Likewise.
Maybe this will be a chance for everyone to prepare for the next episode.
Okay. Kindly let me know. But that being said, let's see if we'll move on.
Or wait, Kikal, if you do want to perform, if you did prepare something, we'd love to see it.
We said that last week though. Simon, no.
I mean, if you still want to show, go ahead. No one's stopping you.
Actually, maybe we'll save it for tomorrow.
Okay, sounds good.
But other than that, go all the keepers, continuing their gifts, their talents, and using it, for all of the glory. Alrighty, so let's move on. The goalkeepers, utilizing their talents once again and continue to have faith and to really practice as well. Whatever keeps you going. So first episode, it is episode 21, Thanksgiving. So right, being thankful, grateful, and blessed. Alright, so move on. So for some Thanksgiving history, I'll read this really quick. But truly, Thanksgiving was how thankful the Pilgrims were to the Native Americans during the expedition with the Mayflower from England. It wasn't a warm welcome at first, but the Native Americans welcomed them with carols, and the Pilgrims defended themselves with their guns. Soon after, Native Americans warmly welcomed them, not long enough with the first feast of the Thanksgiving, and their main dish was turkey. 16 years later, 500 Native Americans died when they were betrayed and killed, which began decreasing in number. was slowly taking over the land as we know the United States of America. To 21st century Americans, Thanksgiving is a holiday and celebration, but to the natives, it was a day and mourning. A fact as well that most of the states' names are named after the Native American culture. So just a little fun fact, especially if you've never heard about the history of Thanksgiving, we just want to have this opportunity to, include it in our podcast episode today, right? So some definitions we want to include is the definition of the words like Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving is an annual national holiday, and truly, essentially, you can think of it as, an expression of gratitude, especially to God. Also, the words gratitude is the quality of being thankful, and also the phrase, take it for granted, truly means especially, or it means fail to properly appreciate someone or something, especially as a result of over familiarity. So truly, just like the picture, Thanksgiving means gratitude. All right, and also some more things about Thanksgiving. So the word Thanksgiving means the act of expressing or feeling thankfulness. Truly, gratitude changes our attitudes and our actions, and also, the gratitude of our blessings per se, whether those blessings are great or small. And when it comes to Thanksgiving, there we get the time to reflect on our lives and to appreciate what we have, who we are, and where we are right now. So hope everyone enjoyed the photos as well. And with that being said, let's have an activity. So we always have this part to, really participate in and to really reflect, right? So essentially, we are aiming to really have this time to ponder about what are we thankful for, whether it be health, home, family, friends, food, for example. But the activity involves what are 10 general things that you are thankful for? How often are you thankful for those particular things? What are some blessings that you are possibly taken for granted for? Or that you are possibly taking for granted? And how can we prove our gratitude? What is something you can't live without? So just food for thought, right? Something that we can really think about, some things we don't really think about. And especially it's something that we can really something that we're able to be like to really dig deeper into the meaning of Thanksgiving, right? So for our official episode 22 question, here is our question. Essentially, what resonated with you during our activity? And what does Thanksgiving mean to you? What are some things that keepers around the world forget to be thankful for? So I will post this as well in the chat box. But great topic, actually. Something that we've been hoping for to talk about in this podcast, especially, and what a perfect opportunity since Thanksgiving is just around the corner. But truly, once again, we always talk about things that we really relate to the struggles of being a youth, right? So as we cue some emotional music as well, some more calming music, we'd like to open the floor, right, to all the keepers that would really like to share. But also, of course, we have this opportunity to have our discussion time. Truly, it's a podcast, right? So, that being said, discussion time. Just keep in mind that there are no wrong answers. And we'd also love to hear your thoughts about our podcast topic today, Thanksgiving. And also keep note that participation is highly encouraged. So, of course, we can really go on and on about how thankful we are But we're more interested in the keepers that have attended this episode, right? And keep in mind of the activity, the question, and think about it, right? 10, for example, what are 10 general things that you were thankful for? It might seem like a lot, but if you think about it, we could keep going on and on. The list can go on forever if we were to really set time aside to count our blessings, you can say. So, but for all the keepers who have tuned in to this episode, we'd like to hear your thoughts and we'd love to hear about your reflection regarding our podcast topic today. So, oh, and go Keeper Kate, by the way, using Goalkeeper Kate, saying in the chat box that truly Thanksgiving to you is a time where, despite the history, it's a time where we bond with families and friends over food. Wow. So go Kate with family and friends bonding over food. And we'd also love to uh hear from Keeper Anthony. So go Ton if you like to share as well. Thank you also, answering right away, Keeper Kate. And we love to hear from you, Keeper Ton. So go Ton.
Hello, can you hear me, guys? Can you hear me properly?
Yes, we
Yes,
can.
Ton.
Okay. Just so actually, I wanted to ask question, answer. I'm sorry, the question. What am I thankful for? Because before I went on break from school, that was a question that my teacher asked for our class, and you know, hearing what they had to say, it really made me think deep of what I'm thankful for because the things that they said was very, you know, there was no emotional meaning to it because Thanksgiving is, a Thanksgiving day where you're thankful, giving thanks for everything that you had throughout the year. And the things that, my classmates said were themselves, they're thankful for themselves, they're thankful for money, they're thankful for, you know, their stuff. And like, you know, I didn't say anything about it. I was just deep down, I'm like, is this really what, these young people are thankful for? But deep down, I realized, you know, you can have all of these physical things and be thankful. Yeah, because I have those too, like money, food, clothes. I have those too, and I'm thankful. But what I'm like deeply grateful for is, like for Thanksgiving, like the biggest thing that you're very thankful for is, being for me is being able to breathe because if you guys can remember the news about the Korean, there was a lot of young people, 100 or so young people that were trampled to death. And me, like, or all of us, we're still here breathing, talking, walking, eating, being able to communicate with our family members, our friends, or whoever we associate ourselves with. So, there's a lot of, like you said, Keeper Kevin, if you really think, listed word for word the things that we have, it is endless. But for me, the main thing that I can say that I'm thankful for is being alive. Being alive and being healthy because you can be alive and still be suffering. But, there's, for me, it's part of life, the struggle. But that's also, I'm also thankful for that because they help me be strong physically, emotionally, mentally, and, spiritually. But yeah, being alive is a very great privilege because a lot of people don't have that now. That's it. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Ton. And yes, a round of applause for Ton. And we're very glad you said that as well. I really agree, Ton. And then just know too that um we're thankful as well that you're alive also, Ton. And then for all of us, all the keepers, we hope and are glad as well that you are that we everyone here is alive, not only physically, but ideally spiritually as well. And right, it's really, even though we're alive, sometimes people can be dead or like feel dead or be seen as dead, but we're really glad that all the keepers are strong, are still taking care of themselves physically, spiritually. So likewise tone and good takes, right? So would anyone else like to elaborate or um answer any of the questions? What Thanksgiving means to you? How the activity? Uh, up to you, Tom, or up to you, Simon or Gab.
I'll go. So, what I think about Thanksgiving, because Thanksgiving to me, because if you think about Thanksgiving, you're giving thanks. There's a lot of things you can give thanks to. You can give thanks to your parents who always guide you to the years. You can give thanks to God because He knows your tomorrow. He knows your future. He knows your next year, your next month. He knows um, what will happen tomorrow, whether or not you expect it. For me, the for Thanksgiving is pretty much giving thanks. You share that you are thankful for everything, because sometimes in life, the things that you don't really like care about, the fresh air that we breathe, the nature, we're destroying that. That's why there's climate change. We don't take care of the world around us. That's why people sometimes forget that uh they're not thankful for that. That's why you know we need to learn how to give thanks, because um in Thanksgiving is pretty much, to me, is just giving thanks. You can just give thanks to God, to um, everybody, because um, in life, it um, um, and then that's all. Thank you.
Yeah, wow. Thank you, Simon. Go, Simon. And yes, oh, would you like to answer as well? Keeper Gabs.
Sure. In my opinion, I agree what both Keeper Anthony and Keeper Simon said. Well, Thanksgiving, it's in the definition, like being thankful. And I feel like for me, Thanksgiving is a day where because you know how like in our lives we're so filled with so much stress, whether it be work, school, or family, friends. Like we can we always I feel like as humans we always see the bad side of things before you see the good side of things. And I guess Thanksgiving is just a reminder that um to look on the positive side of things and be grateful for it. Like for example, sometimes you can always be mad at your parents because as teens we find them annoying sometimes because we don't, I guess you could say, we don't operate at the same frequency sometimes because they're older than us. And but on Thanksgiving, it's sort of a reminder that, oh, well, I'm thankful for my mom because she's been there since day one. I've had a good family. I have loving parents, which I'm thankful for, and that's something to really be. That's something a lot of people don't have, and I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for, like what Keeper Anthony said, just being able to breathe or to open my eyes every day. Just yesterday I could have had a very bad accident. I wouldn't be here in the podcast, but I'm thankful to God that I'm here. I get to communicate and socialize with all these wonderful keepers. And but yeah, that's what Thanksgiving is in my opinion.
Nice one, Gab. And yes, thank you, Gab.
How about
You're
how about
very
we shoot the question to you, the host, Mr. Host.
okay. Thank you, future host. And yeah, sure. I was gonna elaborate too, because just like what you were saying, Gab, I also keep it Josh. like spawning out of nowhere. Go, Josh. But thank you, Gab, because I'm glad you said that because that's something too that I really am thankful for every day, literally every day. Like getting to open two gifts today, what that being our eyes. Right? We didn't have to wake up. You know, we could have died in our sleep and it's something bad could have happened to our health. We could have got, hurt or murdered, but here we are to live another day. Not only to join this podcast, but to continue our responsibilities. And what a privilege it is to be alive. Just like Anthony was saying, also really give thanks to those around us and the one above, just like Keeper Simon was saying. Right. So um, I'm willing to add more, but I could go on and on. So we'd like to also hear more from other keepers, especially before they lose their train of thought. But apparently, is there a keeper AC that would like to answer as well?
Hello. So we're just talking about what we're thankful, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah. So I'm really thankful for this the keepers podcast, because like every Tuesday it gives me like someone to talk to, just talk about how my day went, like how about anything really not that like I'm also thankful for each and one of you that's here, because I like meeting new people, and um you guys like are friends to me is like family. Yeah, I'm also thankful for my friends and family. And, yeah.
Wow. Thank you, AC. Yeah, thank you for jumping in, AC. I didn't even know you're here. So I'm glad. And thank you always for the awesome, beautiful thumbnails. Go, AC. So, how about anyone else you like to share? Or, of course, jump in like what you thought of the activity. Right? It's really something that we really take time to think about, to participate in together, such as, some things that you might take for granted. We didn't even realize. Or, how can we prove our gratitude? How can keepers like us not only be thankful, but prove it or give back, you can say. And also the last question too, what is something that you can't live without? Right? Because I'm sure a lot of people, like even in classrooms, they're thinking like, hey, what are you thankful for? They write their hand, for like they list five things. But what is something truly that you feel like you can't live without? Right? Like even if you're here physically, it's like you feel like you're not really living if you didn't have, etc. So oh yeah, yeah, go Gab.
Thank you. I think for me, well, this is just for me, but I think I something I can't live without is God, because I feel like uh my life has been so much better with our Almighty Father, and I like and also like something like this Keepers Club podcast is something in that sense that helps you stay in a positive mindset all the time. And I feel like with God, you can always, your spirit's always uplifted, and you won't be able to um fall into depression, or even if you do, God is always there to help you fight it. You know, anything bad in your life, he's always there. You just have to pray, and always. I guess that's just something I can't live without it. But that's just a me thing. But I don't know.
Very nice, Gab. And no, of course, that's very, very, very true. Actually, I'll mention something also regarding that. But how about anyone else? If you'd like to elaborate or share or jump in or add on to something that has been said. But just like Keeper Gab was saying, I believe also that likewise, because I think about it too. I'm not the I have a lot of health challenges, right? But I know I'm not the only one. Some people have a lot depending on your definition. And you think about it, it's like for a lot of us, it's like a miracle that we're still here. You know? It's like a miracle. Like we didn't have to continue living, and especially the things that have happened to us. But here we are. We're still here, and truly is no accident that we're still here living, and maybe we're here. We're still here for a purpose that we may or may not know, but it really is a privilege be to be here. And just like Gab is saying as well, very nice seeing all the awesome keepers in this podcast episode, seeing everyone willing to share, willing to contribute to the Keepers Club International, especially the Keepers Club here in the USA. Right. So how about anyone else? Feel free to go twice or thrice, or especially if you haven't jumped in, if you like to just express it, right? So
Yeah.
oh,
So like,
oh yeah,
uh,
go Keeper Josh.
so so like you said, something you can't live without. So the sense of security like you have, like knowing that you're safe, like what Keeper Gab said, but also like isn't also the past events that have happened in your life also a part of things that you can't live without. I mean, like if some of those things that like didn't happen in your life, maybe you weren't gonna be here, like butterfly effect. They say like it could change like a lot of things. Like having one event taking away in your life, maybe like may lead to like down the road, like something, I don't know, maybe an accident or something. I don't know. Maybe like just past events that are maybe like you didn't know were so much important in your life that you wouldn't like you couldn't live without them. You know?
Yes, thank you, Keeper Josh. And yes, very nice. So thank you for jumping in. Nice seeing you, by the way, Keeper Josh. Alrighty. So how about anyone else? How about you, Keeper Vince, Keeper Kate, Keeper Sherlyn? Um, kindly let me know. We'd love to hear you. But something I want to say as well is I'm also, for me, I'm very thankful not only for oh, not only for not only to God, of course, and then not only to Keepers Club International, but of course the founding president. And then we always mention this, but truly it is something that we can't help but to always mention. Because without our founding president, we wouldn't have joined Keepers Club, we wouldn't have a podcast, we wouldn't have known one another, right? So we're very always thankful. We give all the credit to, of course, our beloved president, founding president of Keepers Club International. And we're trying to do our part and doing very least bare minimum that we can ever do to truly prove our thanks, right? Not only to God, but also the founding president, right? But once again, calling any other keeper that would like to share what they're grateful for, or any of the activities as well. How about something like not necessarily like really deep, but also something like the little things, right? Little things, for example, um, I'm really grateful that Keepers Club has provided this microphone for me, right? I know I always wanted a microphone like this to sing, but we got to use it for the podcast. And then also, I'm really thankful. I'm sure a lot of us were really thankful to the keepers always joining, the keepers that are willing to participate, that are willing to share their experiences. When we have all those group photos. Um, Thank you also, Keepers Club, for the laptop. and even the entrustment for not only me, for all of us to be a part of this podcast. But before I continue, we'd also like to hear from our Ati and Keeper Sherlyn. How you're there, Keeper Sherlyn?
Hi po. I am thankful for my teacher, my ELL teacher, because she helps me a lot of my English.
Go on.
Wow.
Yeah, go regards to your sister, right? You said your sister or someone that helps you with English. But go Keeper Sherlyn. And I don't know about any other keepers, but for for a keeper who like only speaks English, I've never known that you ever had problems with English. Honestly, so it's very nice. It seems like you're fluent, and then that you're willing to communicate using English. So regards to even the non-English speakers, but thank you, Keeper Sherlyn, for sharing. Hope you're safe, by the way. And then also greetings to Keeper Jane, Keeper Frank, and also the keeper that just raised their hand, I believe.
Can I answer your last question?
Yeah, go Ton.
Like the mini thing. Well, it's it might come off as bad, but I'm thankful for um pre-COVID and post-COVID, and because you know pre-COVID we were enjoying our luxuries like the things that we have, but because of COVID we were able to realize that all of these things can be taken away in a moment, right? In just a snap of a second, it can be gone. But post COVID, I'm thankful this podcast wouldn't be virtual, and so I wouldn't be able to join the times that I joined and participate and talk and even invite my friends who you know there's who got a long way to go, but at least little by little they're being told like the more spiritual side of life instead of all just carnal. So like I guess what I'm saying I'm thankful for is pre-COVID, post-COVID, and the podcast being virtual. Yeah, that's it.
I have to agree with you. I just like to elaborate. Sorry. Yeah, I agree with you, Keeper Anthony. I feel like the COVID, uh, yeah, it's kind of
Pandemic.
the pandemic. It was kind of like a bad thing for our health, but at the same time, it kind of helped us. Uh, like I wouldn't be in the place I am today if it weren't for COVID. Like I wouldn't. I say because you know how like in I say in like movies, like one small thing you change can affect everything. And I actually I kind of believe that. Like one small thing you change, like it can, like maybe like if I hadn't talked to Keeper Anthony, or let's say if I had got an injury or something, I wouldn't be here today, you know. But I'm very grateful for all the opportunities that have come along our way, especially through COVID. Has really helped me grow as a person, especially. And but yeah, that's also one thing I'm very grateful for. Not very, very, because it's kind of a 40-60 balance.
Wow, thank you, Gab, and also Anthony. But same, right? Also, too, it's like really being thankful in the good and the bad times, right? So it could be maybe at first it was like almost like a curse, but eventually being open minded and then really seeing that we are not in control truly is an opportunity for us to fall on and realize the more important things in life. Go, Gab.
Sorry, Gavin. I just want to share one more thing. I feel like a great representation of Thanksgiving, not just Thanksgiving on one day, but every day, is like the biblical story of Job. If any of you guys have ever read or listened to that story, it's basically about a man who's like very rich. He has like a lot of animals, a lot of children. He's very wealthy in the land. But God wanted to test him, I guess. And so he wanted to test his faithfulness. And so he took away all those blessings. But like for the to make the long story short, in the end, um, Job said that he was grateful for the good and the bad because you everything. I guess you could say everything's like a lesson. Like if someone takes away, if someone does something bad to you, in a way, if you take that, if you learn from that, um, it's like you're thankful because you can be thankful because you gain knowledge, I guess. If someone treats you bad, you gain the knowledge, oh, maybe I shouldn't treat other people like this because I don't want to be like that. So I'm thankful that this person was kind of rude to me because now I have a sense that uh I shouldn't act that sort of way. but but it's like Job. Yeah, we're thankful for the good times and the bad times because we wouldn't be where we are today without them. But I'm sorry I keep speaking, but you know Thanksgiving week.
Yeah, no, we'd be more negative if you didn't speak, Gav. So we're wondering too why you even apologizing. So thank you, Gav. You'll feel free to interrupt. And then of course for the participation once again, it's highly encouraged. But go Gab, right? Truly the story of Job, it's very nice also. Like if everything's taken away, what's your reaction? Right? Are you willing to rebel? Are you gonna be so like pessimistic? Or are you gonna be so full of hatred? Or are you going to be thankful? And really just be thankful of the trials, the challenges, the fire, the things that might not be in your favor, but are really a test, you can say, right? So thank you, Gab, with the biblical verses and biblical stories. But how about anyone else? Would you like to share? Especially if we haven't heard from you. We love to hear from you. Or we love to, hear your voice also, Keeper Kate, or especially Mama Jane, Keeper
Hi.
Vince.
Sorry I'm late. I was doing Thanksgiving shopping with Mother Dearest, but anyway. So I just want to add on to what Gab mentioned because it's very easy when you go through tough or like traumatic even times to just be bitter and like just hate everything around you. It's very easy to do that, and that what Gab mentioned remind me of um, Romans chapter 5, verses 3-5. It was, I'm paraphrasing here, but it's, what was it? Tribulation worketh patience, and patience hope. And, you know, that's like, it's like, I compare it to like if you're going on a long road trip and then, the way to your destination always feels longer than the way back. Because of course, your first time going through it, it's always going to feel the hardest. But, with time, as you continue working through issues, you learn to build up a tolerance and you learn to build up that sort of patience. And, with that patience, there's hope that it will always get better because you've seen time and time again after you've been through just so much that things do always get better. It's a cheesy saying, but I always like saying it's cheesy because it's true. It's oversaid because it's true. And it's just times like this, times to be thankful. Story of Job being thankful in both good times and bad because in good times, you receive comfort, you receive peace, you relax, you don't have any worries. But in the bad times, if you receive it, if you learn from it, you get a lesson and you get experience and you start to work on yourself as a person. And it's like, if you I just think of, like, if you think like the classic spoiled rich kid that hasn't worked for anything, hasn't done anything for their wealth or done anything for what they have today. They don't have much substance to them because they've never experienced anything really. And that's just an example, not to put anyone down, but it's just really, being thankful in both good times and bad is a very important skill, I think, that everyone needs to learn. Because I remember learning from my mother dearest that she's always saying, whenever she's telling me about any problems, she's always saying, am I gonna let the problem hurt me? Am I gonna let the problem make me cry? And whenever she's talking about problems, she's always laughing. She still always has a smile, because she's been through enough to know that, why cry at a bad situation when you can make the best out of it and when you can learn from it? Because you know in yourself that you've already been through so much before. Why stop now? So that's my rant.
Yeah, wow. Thank you, Keeper Jane. Regards also to Mother Dearest. And very nice too. It kind of reminds me of your reflection. It kind of reminds me of a song that we may or may not know, but it's like, regardless of the things that we've been through, the things that we fall on will be enough. Like, truly, if Mother Dearest or any of us were to really think, and truly reflect on that, I've been through enough to know that he will be enough for me. He being the man upstairs. So thank you also, um, once again, Keeper Jane. And something I like to add, I really liked how the spiritual twist that we have really, the angle that we started talking about, so, but for anyone else, if you'd like to elaborate, or even something like the little things once again, or things that we take for granted, you can say. So something that I remember, or that I really want to acknowledge, like, thank you for all the keepers once again who always tune in, all the keepers who invite other keepers, the other keepers that keep coming, the returning keepers, new faces, and as well as the fellow co-hosts, you can say, that always guide me when the music is too loud, or explaining the quote that we have in the end, or being the first one to participate, really sharing if you're not comfortable, but you still just want to blurt it out. You just want to jump in. And also, even sharing how podcast is treating you once again, right? Because it's very nice when it's coming from other keepers that have been here, and then also not just from someone who's just facilitating, right? But how about anyone else before we close sometime soon, but regarding the activity, the question, some things that you believe keepers forget to be thankful for? Or how about, um how can we give back? How can we prove our gratitude, right? Because anyone can just be like, thank you, can say like thank you 1,000 times, can really know the meaning of what it's like to be thankful. But what about leveling up? What about really giving back? Not just receiving, but wanting to give as well. Oh, go Gab.
Um, I think some ways, I can't list down all the ways, but for me, I feel like, I mean, yeah, saying thanks is one way, but actions speak louder than words, and showing people that you care for them and that you're thankful for everything they've done. Like, you know, that I feel like that matters too, especially for this Thanksgiving. Like, I don't know about anyone else, but like, I feel like this year I've taken Thanksgiving more seriously, especially for my family members. I'm more thankful because as you get older, and as you open your eyes to the real world, or to a greater world, you can see like the bigger things. Like for example, you can see when you were a kid, you didn't really see the sacrifices your family has made for you, but now you do. Especially as you have your own responsibilities, and as a kid, you don't see um all the things that were given to you, like all the blessings, all the privileges you've been given, especially here in the US. Like we're very privileged kids compared to other countries. Like we have I'm thankful for the roof that's over my head right now. But you know, I feel like we really have to show our thanks by doing something. I feel like acts of kindness would be appropriate or relevant, sort of like Christmas, I guess. But like for just like helping out, you know, not just saying thank you, but doing something in return for all the goodness you've received from an individual that you know, or you know, anything that you just think of the good things that you've received from people, even if you don't like them. You know, I have some people in my life that I don't really uh associate myself with, but I'm thankful that they've really helped me grow as a person. And I feel like that's something we should all try to do, is show some kindness this Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Gab. Just know too, like I'm sure I'm not the only one that is like almost like touched by your response, Gab. So regards to the all those watching out for you, Gab. And then it really reminds me also like the people in my life also. So, the people that have been so patient, that have, you know, that may have taken care of me even if they weren't able to take care of themselves. Right. And just like you're saying too, Gab, sometimes we take for granted the roof over our head, the clothes on our back, the food on our plate, right? And while you're speaking, also, it reminds me of something that it reminded me, I had to look it up. But think about it. It says, if you have food in your fridge, clothes on your back, a roof over your head, and a place to sleep, you are richer than 75% of the world. So it's hard to imagine, but sometimes ignorance is bliss. We don't know about, the poverty out there, right? And also, it says, if you have money in the bank and your wallet and some spare change, you are among the top of the world's wealth. Wow, so it's crazy, right? We sometimes when we're like very thankful, we don't even realize how spoiled we are compared to people who are less fortunate, right? So is there for many of us, but there's times too that we never had to worry. We didn't have to worry about what to eat. We didn't have to worry about for others or for our loved ones if they had something to eat or a place to sleep or something to something to that will you know contribute to their well-being, right? Go, Gab. Or anyone else, of course, but go, Gab.
Uh just one more thing before I end. Um just like what you said about like how we're so privileged, or like how, well, yeah, how privileged we are. If you think about it, because we grow up in if we because we live in a first world country like the US, we may not be the um not even middle class or not even first class people, but we have everything we need. We have everything we need to sustain uh a healthy life. But if you compare our wealth or our life on a worldly scale, like the whole globe, if you look at Africa, or if you look at a third world country, we're actually like what you said, that actually made me really think. Like, we're actually pretty wealthy ourselves. It's just that we live in a different environment compared to other people. And this is a land, or this country is something that's very the economy is very, like, our economy is very rich, I guess, compared to other countries. So I feel like that's something we should also really be thankful for, because I feel like me personally, I've taken that for granted, and I have a lot of relatives that lives in a third world country. And I'm just thankful I'm here in a first world country, and just thinking that I'm even able to live in a first class country, um and compared to a third world, in a first world country compared to a third world, I'm that really opened up my mind, or opened up my eyes to what you said, Q Calvin. So thankful for that too. For the small details that anyone can just open your eyes to, you know. Words really have power.
Amen. Yeah, go Gab. Because I'm thankful to you too. Because while you're speaking, it made me remember that. And then like reading when we're talking about that, it's like wow, like how fortunate are we? And calling other keepers who like to share, like literally anything. Why not? But like you're saying too, Gab, the um oh, so when we're so fortunate, right? It's like, can anyone answer how can we give back? Or another thing is like sometimes we feel like we don't deserve it. So what do we do? Do we not take it, or do we take it only sometimes, or do we take it anyway? Right? So because I know that it's like even a song, I'll take it anyway. Like we even when we don't deserve it, we'll take it. Why not? And we'll just be thankful. And then maybe in another way we can give back. But think about it. Maybe last response, like how do we uh or anything else, but something else thinking, how do we give back? Right? How about you, Keeper Sherlin?
Okay, for me, how I give back is sometimes I will letter for them to thank them.
Yeah, go Keeper Sherlin. Yeah, and so right. Um, how about so how about when you feel like you don't deserve a second chance, or you even feel like the way you give back to someone or something that has been so patient with you and has even blessed you with a family or families, or a place where you're able to feel a brotherhood, a belongingness, or even a place where you have you're able to utilize your passions, and for not the pleasure of the people, but to give back to the one who blessed you with it. So any response that would be nice. Like how do you give back? Yeah, how else do you give back? Even when you failed, even when you rebelled, even when you use your freedom of choice to ignore everything that someone or something has done for you. Or if that was too complex, feel free to let us know anything else. But me personally, I'm wondering that too, right? Like how to give back even when we don't deserve it.
Well, I mean, really, that's what we call grace, mercy undeserved. And, there's plenty of times where you feel like you won't deserve something. There's plenty of times where, you feel like you're not worth something. And, sometimes that's even true. But, at the end of the day, it's just you're not the one who gets to make that decision. You know, the one who makes the decision is the one who forgave you or who didn't give up on you. And the only way to honor that forgiveness, to honor that work put into you, is to just, listen to them, be good to them. Because at the end of the day, when, you can't repay a debt, you, you know, you commit to doing your best to fulfill that person, to fulfill their wishes for you. Like, for example, it's like comparing it to like a kid with their parents, you know, seeing all they sacrifice, especially myself, I'm first gen, you know, my mother, my mom, my grandma came here. They left, they left behind their home, they left behind everything they knew. Sorry, I'm getting choked up. I'm getting emotional. Oh dear, that's not good. But regardless, you know where I'm getting at, and it's like wanting to fulfill their wishes for you. That's really all you can do at the end of the day.
Go mom. And very nice is, yeah, we were hoping too that like people can be vulnerable, people can even be choked up, to in the podcast. And then, even when we can get emotional like off screen or, behind the scenes regarding the podcast. It's nice. It's really nice, inspiring too, seeing other people opening up. And of course, we owe it all to Keepers Club International, right? So, and just like Keeper Simon says, stay strong, guys. Wow. Alrighty. But of course, I think one way we can give back is trying our best. Of course, like not even the voices of a million angels can really prove our love to something sometimes. Can really prove our things. But would you like to elaborate, by the way, keep your tone?
I just wanted to add on to what you said, like the very first thing, like, um, what if you feel like you were given many chances that you don't deserve. I want to add on to that because, we all have our ups and downs in our lives, especially last year or last 2 years ago when COVID started. It was like a feeling of lack because we can't interact with our friends, our family, or keepers members. But recently, I had gone on a trip that had really took a turn in my life. And I think for me that was like my millionth chance in life to change my ways. And I'm really grateful for that opportunity because seeing how together we can make a difference, not not just in like physical things, but you can make change with each other because seeing how other keepers are in person, it's very different from virtual. And I really thank the opportunity from our founding president, Pastor Apollo Sikibloy, for the opportunity to meet the fellow Keepers Club members in this last trip this past summer because like I said, it felt like that was my millionth chance to finally, take a stab in changing my ways. And it I took it for I took my life for granted, and I feel grateful that I'm given a chance to finally, you know, take another look at how I live my life, and really be grateful for the things that you have because, like Keeper Jane said, it is grace, it is mercy. and not every day you're gonna get that from people that surrounds you. So yeah, I'm just really grateful for that opportunity to meet the fellow Keepers Club members. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ton. And of course, likewise, right? Some of us don't even have a friend group, or some of us you know, don't have opportunity to really like socialize or see one another, fellowship with one another. And I truly believe that there's other keepers clubs around the world that they wish they had, you know, other keepers. They wish they had someone they could call kuya or ate, or they wish they could be called kuya or ate, or they wish they had an activity like a podcast, you know? And it's very humbling, of course, never to brag, but it's very nice for the entrustment, right? For all of us, because all of us are contributing. All of us are contributing. We could have been doing anything in the world. We could have been, being productive or doing our own thing or really engaging in something bad. But look at how prosperous this podcast is. Whether our goal is fulfilled or not, it's very nice just seeing one another. It's very nice encouraging one another, and I'm sure the founding president is very very blessed. So we always it really is a huge privilege, you can say. And we're very glad that we're willing to do our part. And just like Keeper Gab is saying, the prize is great, but the journey is greater. Wow. But how about how about another thing, like, there's times when you're praying, for example, right? Because anyone who anyone who doesn't believe, like, they feel like they don't believe in God or having faith, or in really acknowledging that there's something that we can't see but is always there. you know I feel like they just don't they're like almost in denial, right? So what about the times where you're like praying, for example, you're just like praying, right? And then just really thinking about the miracles, the people around you, the place that we're at, the opportunity, the privileges um that we were given, right? And then, for example, if you feel like dancing, just dance, right? You feel like screaming, you just like woo, right? Or you feel like just as if like he's right there in front of you. You don't care about who else is around you. You don't care who's judging you. You don't care, how people perceive you, but you're just very humbled. You're very proud to be where you are, um, not only in yourself, but really proud of the one watching over you the whole time. Right. So before we go overtime, any last minute thoughts regarding Thanksgiving, or regarding giving back, regarding things that we take for granted, or anything else? Regards also, by the way, Keeper Isaac. Go Keeper Isaac, officially being in Keepers Club, by the way. Go Isaac and Isaiah. Oh yes, and Kuya Simon.
Um, I would like to share one more thing. Before we end the podcast. Remember when the pandemic hit, right? So in this research I found, it says that 14% of American adults say that they're very happy, and about only 86% is unhappy. That's a big chunk, because on because in life we encounter lots of stress. We feel so um heavy with the things around us. We're always dissatisfied. That's why sometimes people are in rock bottom. They got hit with depression, anxiety, because they don't find that satisfaction in life. In one study, it says that 75% of Americans are dissatisfied with their jobs. Because in life, happiness comes in the small things. Small things, right? And big things too. There's many things that we can be thankful for. Here in this podcast, number one thankful for that I'm thankful for, because this podcast shows an example of positivity to young people, especially in this generation and to our age group. And sometimes we think we take that for granted, because we right now we're bonding, and tomorrow or next week we might not see each other because maybe podcast is canceled. I hope that does not happen. But it's those little things, and it's just like what Anthony said, when we had the gathering on August, I think, because I got to meet so many YPs. I got to meet more, to Calvin, to Josh, to Anthony, Angelo, Ate Jane, everyone. Got to connect with Gabby, Vince, everybody. And I felt this sensation of you know we're a family. Keepers Club, this is a big family around the world. That's why I those memories I'm always thankful for, because to me, eh, it's like once a year that we can meet each other. But um sometimes we only can meet each other face to face in gatherings, and also in virtual. But sometimes it's the little things, it's those memories that we make, that I'm very thankful for, because one day I um one day I might not be able to join, and one day I might be sad that I have no one to talk to. That's why I'm thankful for this podcast, because we have a voice. We have a voice to share, because without that, let's say, for example, taking out someone's speech, their voice, you know how that feels. You feel down, you feel trapped, you feel worthless, you know you feel that fear, you feel that doubt that no one cares about you. That's why in this podcast, we get to bond with each other, although we're virtual, or although we're um, just in computer or on Zoom. um, I'm thankful that this podcast is gives us more time to bond with other more keepers, more YPs, and also to give each other advices, to give each other um, lessons, positive lessons that we can learn and use um, in the real world, in life. And that's one of the big things I'm grateful for, is this podcast and all these gatherings that we can bond with more YPs. so that we spread the positivity. It's like a magnet, it's like a chain. We spread that positivity to vanquish the negativity, because you can't beat fire with fire. You can't beat darkness with darkness. You can only beat darkness with light. And so I won't take too long, since our time is running low. So yeah, that's all I want to say about for this podcast today.
Wow. Go Simon. Yeah, no, that was very nice, Simon. I don't know if anyone can top that, but right. And then very nice, Simon. It really, for all of us, we really cherish the memories, that were made possible because of Keepers Club, and everyone, that we got to meet, everyone we got to, really encourage one another, uplift one another. And then even if we're, official keepers or not, that truly it's a huge privilege, to be a part of, to have this opportunity to see one another. And even if we don't have this opportunity to really be like, how's your day, and like crack jokes or talk about, things um that we don't get to talk to anyone about. But it's a really nice opportunity to really see how everyone has grown, how strong everyone is in their respective Keepers Cup International, right? So thank you, Keeper Simon. And um before we officially move on, regards also to Ati Bella. How you there, Keeper Bells?
Thank you, Calvin. Praise the Father.
Rest well, Keeper Bells. But nice seeing you, by the way, or hearing from you, or both. But would you like to say anything, by the way? We're talking about Thanksgiving. If not,
What was so the main topic was Thanksgiving.
yes, ma'am.
Was there any questions or just like
Oh, actually, you'll be the final statement. So, Thanksgiving, and what do you have to say about that, goalkeeper Bella?
Thanksgiving? It's I personally feel like Thanksgiving is the best holiday of the year. But if you think about it, you should be thankful every day. Thankful that you're here to just be gathered with everyone you love, and you should be grateful every day because in the world we live in now, it's very dangerous. So no one is exempted from death. So Thanksgiving should be a holiday every day because there's so much to be thankful for. Your family, your friends, and me personally, I'm thankful because of the Father's goodness in my life, of course, and seeing how far you have you've come from. Like if you just do a reflection on how far you've been from where you used to be and from where you are now, and the people that you've met along the way and the trials that you came across. There's times where you feel like you can't do it, but then somehow you manage to do it. So I feel like every day should just be a day for you to feel grateful, even if you have your moods and your moments where you just feel like life is just going downhill and life is just upside down. Just be thankful because you're here, you're breathing, you're living, you have family, friends, loved ones who are always going to support you no matter what.
Go Bells. And wow, goalkeeper Bella. Final statement, or like, last one. And then you must be working hard too, keeper Bella. And everyone, so keep doing your thing. And then if anything, your regards from um just, final words from like your Kuya Calvin, I guess. Continue to be strong, continue to be thankful, not only one day, but every day. There's always something to be thankful for. And if anything too, just know that like I'm sure I'm not the only one who's so blessed, so thankful to be in this podcast, to see how everyone and to hear their responses. It's so nice. Something that keeps us going, something that keeps us strong, and we're very we're very happy to see everyone always putting the effort, whether you're early, on time, or late. It's one big spiritual family that we're always contributing to the Keepers Club love that we felt. So this is our way of once again really thanking our beloved president of Keepers Club International, who is none other than Pastor Apollo C. Kibuloy. So some stuff keepers need to know. Last thoughts, because truly, when we started this podcast, like literally during the pandemic, we're like, what if we call it stuff keepers need to know? But now we have it, the Keepers Cup podcast, and once again, we've hit all of these. There's always something to be thankful for. There's always something to be thankful for. Be thankful in the good and in the bad times, and let's be thankful not only on Thanksgiving, every day. And just like this photo, very nice. You see Winnie the Pooh is talking to Piglet, and Winnie the Pooh, or this quote, it says, Piglet noticed that even though he had a very small heart, it could hold a rather large amount of gratitude. Wow. So regardless of the different sizes, or their the different their different bodies, you can say, but essentially the message is, we're all capable of being grateful, and you can't go wrong with a grateful heart. So for our shout outs, regards to the new faces, keepers tuning in this episode, returning keepers, Keepers Club International, and the founding president of Keepers Club. But we love to, we always have a quote, and thankful to always all the keepers who are willing to elaborate. But can someone share what this quote means to you? Then this quote is by none other than our founding president. He's also a pastor, Pastor Apollo C. Kibuloy. But we found this quote and really relates to what it says. It says, "The Father Almighty is pleased with the sacrifice of thanksgiving and faith." So, would anyone like to share what this means to you? And then, it'd be cool, especially if we haven't heard from you. But kindly let us know. But once again, the Father Almighty is pleased with the sacrifice of thanksgiving. So, any takers? Oh, go Gab. Hi, also Keeper Isaac.
So I think for me, what that quote meant, the Almighty Father is blessed with the sacrifice of thanksgiving and praise, right? So I guess for me, it's like basically meaning that God, or our Father, our Almighty Father, is blessed, or he feels loved, I guess, because I guess you could, if we take it in a sense of for us humans, like for example, when you're, I guess for your parents, or in the future maybe, like when we tell our parents we love them, do, don't they say like, or don't they feel like they feel warm, they feel good, and because we appreciate them, and we're acknowledging them. And it's the same thing for our Almighty Father in heaven. Like when we praise him, that's our showing our love and our thankfulness, our gratitude, and that just, you know it just makes our connection and our bond with him stronger, I guess you could say. But that's what it means to me. That's what that quote meant to me.
Thank you, Gab. Yes, and as I cue some music, anyone else, or that was pretty much it, short and sweet. So thank you, Gab. And we always try to do that every time, to have a quote and to truly, to really remember, of course, our beloved president and our beloved motto, you can say. So truly, the Father Almighty once again is pleased with the sacrifice of thanksgiving and praise. So let us not forget to really always thank Him, thank God, but also give back through our sacrifice or our love beyond measure. So we hope to see you next week for episode 22. And don't forget, I am my brother's keeper. We got Keepers Club USA, Keepers Club International, official logo or updated logo. And you can see all of our episodes on YouTube. And of course, this is our flyer, Keepers Club Podcast, 6 p.m. CST or 4 p.m. CST, I believe. And if you're there in the Philippines, also about, I think, like around 7 a.m. But of course, we'd love to see you. And we would love to see everyone's beautiful faces. So you can see all the beautiful faces over here, everyone that has joined. Keepers Club Hall of Fame, you can say. But let's take a photo, if that's cool. So we love to see everyone's beautiful faces once again. And if anyone's down, we love to have a group photo. So hi also, Keeper Isaiah, Keeper Kate. So yeah, let's have a photo, everyone, if that's cool. Maybe I'll give it especially if you're available or in high tone. Okay, let's give it a 3, 2, and 1. Oh, wait. Hold it for like 5 seconds. Yan. Okay. Okay, 3, 2. Everyone looks so nice. Wow. So okay, one more. How about keepers? Keepers. So let's give it a 3, 2, 1. Alrighty. So nice seeing everyone, by the way. Kate, Keeper Jane, Ton. And then that was pretty much it. Feel free to stay. Wow, where you at? Go, Kate. But other than that, what a great episode. And thanks everyone for coming. Thank you, Pastor. Thank you, Keepers Club. And hope to see you for our next episode. But other than that, what an awesome episode once again. And thank you so much, Keepers Club International, all the keepers that have joined. And of course, once again, the founding president of Keepers Club, which is none other than Pastor Apollo Siki Baloy. So, right?
I have to say, this was like next to Kuya Danny Man's episode. This is like one of my favorite episodes.